Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm just getting everybody into our webinar here. Sorry, I'm a little bit late this morning. Still letting people in. I got some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Hang on. It's either on my desk or right in the top of my trash can. It's on, yeah, sorry. Hi, I'm multitasking. Yeah, it's on a street. I don't remember. Somebody's asking me a question. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Hi, it's Patty Widget. Sorry, it's one of those days today. My hair looks really funny with my background thing. It looks like it's chopped off, but it's on my head. I promise it's just not picking up on my background. I have hair. It's up there somewhere. All right, you guys, I'm having a day. Just came across some interesting reading. I don't even know where to start. Let's see if you guys have a question first. I want to talk to you guys about this, and I'm still letting people in, just so you guys know. I want to talk very briefly about what's happening in our community and the media. Okay, everybody on board? Every time there's any type of new moratorium, there's all these articles that come about, and there's these quick news stories that come about saying that landlords still can't evict tenants. That's not true. We're evicting, at the law firm I work for, we're evicting people in LA City, LA County, okay? It's not that you can't evict, it's specific to each individual property and what's going on there. So don't think because the media says these tenant protections are extended till the end of June, LA County till the end of the year, that there's nothing you can do. That is not good property management. Okay? Let me explain to you. If your tenant didn't comply with the program or they didn't apply with the program, they have no protections. Paying attention yet? So if your application status with Housing is Key reads denied, non-responsive, inactive, fraud, funds exhausted, okay? If any of that is listed in their application status, you're holding the golden ticket that the court's gonna let you to get the writ of possession. You just gotta get it that far, okay? There are no protections for tenants that are not complying with the program. I saw your message, my sisters. I'm going to call you as soon as this is done. Okay. I have news and it's good news. I just wanted to keep you updated. Okay. Sorry. That one came out of left field, guys. So a lot of you could be holding the ticket to give you your house back. You just need to go through the motions. I hear a lot of things. You can't evict in the city of Los Angeles, not under RSO. Who said? Okay. All I'm saying is don't let the media give you legal advice. Don't let the media tell you there's nothing you can do. You need to contact your legal counsel, okay? I hear that so much. Every day when I answer the phone, I get the same question. Hi, how can we help you? It's, can we do evictions yet? Yet. You've been able to do them this whole time. Why do you want to evict? Let's talk about that. So remember that 9 times out of 10, you're most likely able to do an eviction right now on whatever your issue is. You just need to sit down and explain that issue to your legal counsel and make sure they're understanding you. There is a way, okay? All this stuff of, oh, landlords can't do evictions until January. That's all media hype, you guys. That's not what the rules say. So please, I beg you, don't let headlines determine what you can and can't do. Okay? And I'll leave my statement at that. I'm just trying to get you guys to think outside of this pandemic and not go with whatever the latest news is on the TV that night. Chances of you being able to do a successful eviction are probably very high. Okay, things I want to talk about. Assembly Bill 2710 And Val, I'm warning you right now. Will this piss off my sisters? It may piss off my sisters, but it's really going to piss off Val. Okay. So Val, if you're on here, I'm sorry, but you need to look this up. AB 2710. Under this bill, rental owners would be prohibited from putting their properties up for sale. Do you hear that? Under this bill, AB 2710, it would prohibit landlords from putting their rental properties up for sale, whether they be apartments or single family residences, until they've given advanced notice to qualified entities, such as certain tenant organizations, community land trusts, and affordable housing nonprofits. The notified groups would then have first right to purchase the property and receive excessive time, nearly 1 year, to secure financing. You paying attention? A group that would express interest in buying the rental property would then have to contact each tenant to share the news, a potential invasion of privacy. Okay, so they're trying to pass a bill, basically, and it's an unrealistic proposal to transfer private rental property as well as tenants' personal property information to nonprofit organizations. Watch this bill, you guys. I don't like this. Okay, I'm still letting people in. I don't like this one bit. I don't want somebody else to tell me if I can or cannot sell my property. I am not okay with that. So just something else for you guys to watch. That's AB 2710. And I try to watch these things, but not get too upset about them because they haven't passed yet. Okay. But some of the things that they're coming up with, you guys, is ludicrous. And it makes me understand one thing. Are they designing this? Did somebody set this all up? Gives us a lot to think about later. Okay. Val, I know you're, oh, there she goes. Okay. And Andrea, I told you I'm going to call you afterwards for your Hazeltine property. I got you. I got news. This is only for terminated properties or empty properties. No, it says if the landlord wants to sell. So it doesn't say if it's vacant or not. They want us to give it to the government entities before we put it on the market for general sale. And they could take up a year to fund the sale. No. That's me trying to calm back down again. Pinching my own finger, reminding me to keep my mouth shut so I don't say anything I shouldn't. But I really, really want to. That will drive us out of this state in droves. For the ones of us that stayed in California, that will drive us out in droves. What if I want to sell the property to my child? I can't. I have to list it, or make it available to these groups first? No, I'm not having it. So watch that one, you guys. AB 2710, okay? Hi, David. Got my people in here. Okay, let me see what, if I list a property for sale and it goes into escrow immediately, will the state come back and slap me? They didn't pass this yet. So if you're trying to sell, baby, sell now. This has not passed yet. It's on the House of the Assembly. I heard Newsom wants California to be the beacon or role model for other states. Can I tell you something? And please pay attention. I think it was in the first 90 days of office of our new leader. What is his name? I want to say it properly. Biden. I had to think about it because I was going to say something else. Sorry. I want to say he was 90 days into office. And he made an announcement in a press conference that the profile of California landlord-tenant law he'd like to implement throughout the nation. So you can say it's Newsom saying that everybody wants to, I've heard it come out of Biden's mouth, that he'd like to set California's landlord-tenant situation up for the entire nation so that every state has these guidelines. I heard it too, but I didn't hear it from Newsom. I heard it come out of Biden's mouth. Okay, and now I don't want to get into any more political because I'm starting to get heated, folks. Yes, Val, I know. So remember, those of us that think we can't do something because we have extended protections, don't feed into that. If your tenant didn't comply with the program, they have no protection. Want me to say that again? If your tenant didn't apply and isn't in the process of being approved, then they don't have any protection. Okay, you guys paying attention? I really hope so. It is time for us to use our teeth and take our properties back. The only reason they did the extension was to help the tenants that were waiting for payment so that they wouldn't be evicted while payment's still trying to be processed. The state needed 90 more days to pay off us landlords. And believe you me, they will wait until day 87 to cut the checks. Just saying, makes sense. They got 90 days additional. I'm trying not to be too about it, but it's. I hope we get our teeth back sooner rather than later. And for those of us that have our homes held hostage against us, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I see how we're starting to progress forward with taking back our properties. But then you see bills like this coming about and you wonder, do they want us to take our properties back? Or are they trying to keep them away from us? Kind of makes you wonder when they come up with such ludicrous crap. I want to list my house for sale, but first I have to call a tenant advocate group and make sure it's okay with them. Oh, they want to buy it, so I have to wait a year for the loan to fund. I would burn my house to the ground before I sold it to a tenant advocate group, and that's just me talking out loud. I'm just saying. I don't want to help them. Trying so hard not to say something that would offend anybody, but come on, you guys, this is ludicrous. This has to come to an end. The stuff they're coming up with is so far-fetched. It's against our constitutional rights. Now they're controlling who we sell our property to? Bullshit. Sorry. It's making me mad. You guys haven't seen Patty mad yet. My pig lady. Okay, so Val, I'm going to tell a little bit of your story. I hope you don't mind. Val has a tenant in a property in Kern County in a residential dwelling that moved in 4 pigs, or is it 6 pigs, into a house. A house. Okay, pigs are still there. She was denied assistance for lack of an action on her part. I served a 3-day to get rid of the pigs, which she said they will be gone by this weekend. She's lied many times. I'm gearing up for evictions, but I heard evictions are taking a long time. Yes, they are taking a long time. You did your 3-day curable breach of covenant. For me, all evictions are a long time. I need it done in 10 days, not in 10 weeks. Okay. But that's just me being a landlord with you guys. They're taking a while. If you're going after money or non-payment of rent, it seems to take a little bit longer. If you're building a case on cause, like Val's trying to do and get rid of these pigs. I mean, she literally has pigs in a house, in a residential dwelling. Oh, they're in the yard. Okay. There was 4, now there's 3. Did they eat one? I don't care if the 3-day curable breach of covenant is up. Call me and let me know when that 3-day expires. I don't care when she said she's gonna get them out of there. Let me know when your 3-day curable. What did your local animal control say? Are you geared for zoning for livestock, or are you not geared for zoning for livestock in that area? Because if you're not geared for zoning and it's not geared for livestock and animal control finds out about it, then they'll start fining you to do something about it. They ate the neighbor's stray cat. They're a nuisance. They got to go. Animal control was no help. Yeah. Let me know what happens on the 3-day curable. If they're not gone in 3 days, I say do a 3-day quit and get them out. If they're eating neighboring cats or neighboring pets, it's just a recipe for disaster. I didn't realize pigs would eat a cat. I had no idea. I thought they ate like trash and garbage, and I didn't realize that they would kill a cat or a dog or anything like that. That just blows my mind. Animal control said, oh, now I lost it. They would only force the pigs to be fenced. This tenant says it was a dead kitten. Okay, so that makes sense. If they didn't eat somebody's pet, I would just go on the fact that they have unauthorized livestock on your premises. I mean, your rental contract says they can't have them there. You gave them a 3-day curable. It's up to you what you want to do after that. If you want to evict them, I'd do the quit. If you don't want to evict them and you want to see if they comply, then you're going to have to play the game. Simply said, you're going to have to play the game. All right, anybody have specific questions or some general ballpark questions of things that they want to talk about? Here we go with Jay. What you got? Is the government going to pay the tenants beyond the 31st of March? My tenant says her application is in and she's going to get till June 30th. I'm going to be extremely honest with you. For the most part, they're not paying past March. For tenants that are in dire straits, we are seeing advance rents come out. Not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. Okay. But we are seeing for tenants that we're seeing that they're paying over 18 months and they're not supposed to pay over 18 months. So just sit tight and wait, verify with the program that they're intending on paying advance rents going forward. That way, at least you know. Because I learned something early on in this business. And please don't take offense to this, but it's just what I learned. I learned never trust a tenant on what they say. Never trust a landlord on what they say. Go look for yourself. Okay, that's my thing, is go find out for yourself. So don't listen to them telling you they're going to get advanced rents to June. They could be denied right now. You need to go look and then call and see if you get told the same thing. I don't ever believe them. Okay, ever. Don't take your legal advice from a tenant. Trust me, it's a bad idea. In Larso, one tenant who has applied for rent relief has not paid anything since the beginning of the pandemic. He keeps sending emails to say he's still affected and has applied for further funding, as I can't evict him due to receiving the rent relief funds. What can I do now? Did you receive any money? Because you say he hasn't paid anything since the beginning of the pandemic. And he keeps sending you emails to say that he's still affected. I want to talk about that because you've received money several times from the government. So look and see, how many months have you gotten? Has it been 18 months altogether? Because they're only supposed to pay 18 months. Can they pay more? Yes, but that tenant really has to be affected. They really have to be in a bad position. So I would contact your legal counsel and let us know. We actually have done a few evictions in LARSO, It just depends, it depends, it depends. So if I were you, I would contact your legal counsel with all of your applications, how many months you've been paid for, how many months you're still owed, and then go from there. Yeah, 18 months total. So I'd be on the phone with them, asking them if they're going to pay any more funds. If the answer is no, I'd call your attorney. That's the best way I could tell you. How does Housing is Key base their decision whether they pay past 3/31/22? I think it has to do with the income of the tenant, honestly, and how in dire straits they are. And I don't know that there's many of them. I deal with thousands of landlords, property managers, not just through you guys, but also through fast eviction service. I mean, I'm talking to property management companies all day long. And for the most part, what I hear when I ask the question, did you have anybody that was paid over 18 months? They have a couple that were paid over to 20 months, 24 months, but they are severely low income. They're at dire straits, for lack of a better way to explain it. But yes, I have seen them pay over 18 months. How they're doing that, I don't know. Are they allowed to do that? I have no idea. Remember, this program was designed and developed during the pandemic to help assist with the pandemic problems. So it's got lots of holes. It's got lots of loopholes. I mean, it's just designed. They're faking it until they make it. Okay. I mean, we have a case where a tenant received $86,000 of rent funding, should have went to the landlord, and now the tenant won't give it up. They tried to negotiate with the landlord to pay a lower amount so they could keep part of the money. They still haven't paid it. And I know that they have paperwork that says they have to pay the funds to the landlord within 15 days. It's been 3 months and they haven't forwarded the money to the landlord. So, okay, gets a little tricky there, but yeah, I've seen, people are like, how could that happen? This is a brand new program. He bought a Rolls Royce. He's going to live in it soon. We're getting our teeth back. But see, it's things like that you most likely can start an eviction for right now. You need to talk to your legal counsel. And then I have these owners that go, oh yeah, I didn't put in an application. I didn't apply. How do you know that the tenant didn't get all that money then? Just saying. Something to think about. The only way to find out is if you applied or you call the program. And I'll tell you right now, the program will not tell you what's going on with your tenant. They're a tenant-based program. So a couple of things happened this week, and I just want to share the love, okay? I had a client call me, said that he contacted LARSO, and because they're exempt from LARSO, they told him that he could raise his rents 15% right now. California Penal Code 396 subparagraph B talks about price gouging during a state of emergency and says that any landlord that raises their rents over 10% while we're in a state of emergency is subject to 6 months in jail and a $10,000 fine. As nicely as I could say this, stop asking the enemy what the rules are. They're going to set you up for failure. LARSO, tenant-based program. Housing is Key, tenant-based program. Guys paying attention? Stop calling the enemy and asking them what you can do. They're setting you up for failure. Everybody got that? Is that clicking? Boom, light bulb coming on, I hope. Do not call LARSO and ask them how much you can raise your tenant's rent. Unless you look good in orange. Just trying to prove that point, you guys, so you'll hear what I'm saying. How does Housing is Key base their decision whether they pay pass? I don't know. I can't answer that. I have no idea, Allie. Was his last name Biden? He bought a Rolls Royce. I love you guys because you say the things I really want to, and I won't. I try not to. It's very frustrating. And looking at it from every different perspective that I could put myself in, it all just takes me back to, don't forget what happened in January, folks. Don't forget what happened in January this year. It tells you what's going to happen without telling you what's going to happen. See above about my grumpy vet? Okay. Oh, I got it. Another tenant is giving us grief about entering his house. He's a disabled veteran. We started painting and fixing the exterior. He yelled out the door for my crew to leave. We called Vash, but they only talked to the vet. Exactly. We also alerted his adult daughter to research Vash. Okay. Make sure you're serving 24-hour notice and block out the time for the whole day. So from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, that you can put a notice so it blocks it out for the whole week and serve him that. Tell him that you're doing repairs, you're doing everything that you can to try to improve the property for him, and handle it in that matter of trying to approach it that way of, we're trying to help you, we're trying to make this a better place for you to live, yada yada. If he's an ass and he doesn't want to let you in, then you're going to have to do your job. 24-hour notice, he fails to allow entry, and then we would want to do an eviction based on failure to allow entry. And then for those of you in LA County, we're coming up on you getting your teeth back. June 1st, you guys should be able to start doing evictions for unauthorized pets, unauthorized occupants, and also failure to allow entry. In LA County, we lost that during the pandemic. We're supposed to get that back on June the 1st, okay? That would be phase 2 of you getting everything back together. Can you bring a locksmith? Yes, you can bring a locksmith. You can't change the locks on the tenant. You can have a key made for yourself. I hope that made sense to you, Val. If it didn't, yell at me. What else do you guys have going on? What other kind of questions do you have? If your tenant vacates the unit, whether it's eviction or otherwise, the money for COVID, from what I understand, becomes due and payable when they vacate. So that's when you can do your small claims judgments to go after them for the money that's owed. For the most part, eviction courts right now are not issuing money judgments for rents owed. They're just issuing judgments for possession, not for the money. You're going to have to go back and sue them in small claims for the money. Okay. Just a reminder. In San Bernardino County, hang on, Ashley, let me pull it up. Can you evict for unauthorized pets June 1st? You can do that in San Bernardino County now. You don't have to wait till June. You're welcome. That's only LA County. Unauthorized pets, unauthorized occupants, and that's all based on COVID, just so you know. And failure to allow entry will open up as long as the reason to allow entry isn't considered harassment. Sorry. Sometimes I just feel like I need to bash my own head in. And I don't know what's more shocking, you guys, the fact that we lost our rights as landlords. I mean, they could move 50 people into a 1-bedroom apartment and we can't do shit about it. I don't know what's more frustrating, that we lost our rights as landlords, and those are big ones: unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, and failure to allow entry. That's like 3 most common. Okay. I don't know that I'm more upset that we lost those rights to begin with, or if I'm shocked that we're actually getting them back. That's impressive. We're getting our teeth back. If a lease ends and a tenant extends month to month, Can I say they must sign for 6 or 12-month lease in September so I don't have empty over the holidays? I love you guys. I'm gonna teach you something, okay? Anybody know when the busiest time is for property management? For renting vacant units? Anybody know the busiest time of the year for that? It's 2 things. You get one in July, and that's for everybody that's gonna start school in August, September with me, okay? And it's the worst because it's so hot, but usually people move in the summer because they want to be established in their new dwelling when their children start the school year, okay? So we have them that move over the summer. The other most common time for rentals to be hopping is Christmas. It is not a downtime in this industry. The holidays, we are the absolute busiest in this industry. It's not quiet. People are going, wait, what's Patty talking about? If you have a week off for Christmas through New Year's at work, that's when you move. You have plenty of time. If you have 4 days off over Thanksgiving, it's a great time for you to pull together with your family and instead of eating turkey, move. You get mandatory vacation on these holiday dates over Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, blup, blup, blup. You get holidays in there too, so you end up with time off. So big picture here. Biggest months we see move-ins and move-outs happening in residential dwellings is after income taxes, before school starts, and over the holidays. It is not a downtime. It is not a quiet time. Not in property management. Okay, just saying so that you guys know. What is the worst time to rent? If I'd have to say there was a worst time, I would probably say at the end of the school year. Okay. At the end of the school year, as school is coming to an end, nobody wants to move. They want to wait, or they want a new house for the summer with a pool. Everybody's concerned that there's seasons and theories in property management. And I'll tell you right now, I learned real quick, we don't get a break, ever. It's never slow. It's okay, you can get here late. Nobody here is going to shame you. We don't allow that here. Hi, Patty. Sorry, I just got here late. Can you please give us a snapshot of this new law in the city of San Diego? Nope, I can't. I can't. Look at it as it's an additional extension. I believe that's what you're speaking of. For tenant protections regarding COVID. Is that the one you're talking about? Because there's a couple things going on there. And I know La Mesa just nixed what they were trying to pass. So I'll look at it. I'll report to you on Wednesday. Remember, we're still governed by the state law, okay? If you get up in the morning and you get out of bed and the city doesn't restrict you, then the county might. If the county doesn't restrict you, then the state does, okay? And when it comes to restrictions, the restriction that constricts you the most is the one that controls you. Not the lighter restriction. I heard if the interest rates keep rising, the housing will crash, and interest is definitely on the rise since no one will be able to buy. Give me a second. I'm choosing my words carefully. For those of you that don't know, I'm a licensed real estate broker. I do not practice sales transactions, okay? But I still have to be careful what I say. If you guys remember in 2006 and 2007, if you can turn back the wheel in your brain, if you were involved in this industry in 2006, 2007, I want you to go back to 2005 and 2006 and look at supply and demand, interest rates, I mean, this is a recipe, you guys. This is what happens. It tells you that the downturn is most likely ahead. And I'll leave my statement at that. You're absolutely right. It's getting scarier and scarier. Housing supply and demand isn't able to keep up. I mean, you guys know, you list a vacant for rent and you have 50 applications in less than an hour. I don't have to tell you, you know. Turn this back to 2005, 2006. Does this sound familiar? Does it look familiar? They raised the interest rate then too, if I remember correctly. Guys paying attention? It's a recipe for a downturn. Got it? I'm not saying that it's happening tomorrow. I would say, in my opinion, it's much more projected over time. I would say probably 6 months or so. And then please remember, when the market crashes and they say the market has crashed and real estate isn't worth anything, remember this. They still have to go through the foreclosure process. They still have to go through the eviction after foreclosure. That takes time. Those houses won't hit the market for quite some time because a notice of default comes after 90 days of being delinquent, and then a notice of trustee sale. And then you have to wait another 4 months before you can do the foreclosure process. And then you have to turn around and do an eviction for whoever's in possession. Got it? So we are going to see that ball start to roll. Just be prepared. It cannot keep going this way. It cannot. Last night, BH City, I don't know who that is, Beverly Hills City Council, got it. It took me a minute. I am blonde. Is talking about a 3.1% increase, but also increasing for the past 2 years retroactive. Is LA considering that too? Absolutely not. They don't want to raise rents for tenants. Not in LA. Come on, they're pro-tenant. So's Larso, pro-tenant. So's Housing is Key, pro-tenant. Don't call these people and ask them what you can and can't do. They may give you really bad advice because it only benefits their client if they do. Make sense? What else you guys got for me? Nothing, but it's Wednesday. The wind's not blowing today, so maybe we don't have any new rules, but we still need to watch a couple of those assembly bills. I am really watching them. We didn't get a lot of new law changes in January of this year, with all due respect. I know you guys think, oh no, it was horrible. Actually, this was a quiet year, and it's usually a quiet year and a heavy year. And what I mean by a quiet year and a heavy year is we may have had 10 new laws come out in January. Remember, we got a new thing for emotional support animals, but we're not talking about that until this pandemic goes bye-bye, because too many opportunities for retaliatory issues. So it's better just to err on the side of caution and keep in our seat until the cloud and the storm goes away, and then we can attack, okay? So I know I saw that, David. Hold on, I'll get there because I saw that too. With that happening, we need to err on the side of caution, like I said, and be careful of what is still coming about. I want to say we got a couple new laws for housing made homelessness a protected class. We have a new mold disclosure that we must use when moving in new tenants on all of our residential properties. So we have some new laws that hit us here in the month of January of this year, but there's not a lot. The years that I say there are a lot, we usually get about 30 new laws, 30. Yes, I did say that. And that would be coming at us next year. So this is the ballot I watch on this upcoming election and the upcoming year for January and the new changes, because this is where I foresee quite a bit of new laws coming out. It will be for January of 2023. China lockdown again. Do you think it'll happen again? God forbid. When is the world going to end? Well, I have a crystal ball, folks, but you know, it's still broken. It doesn't work. I did see that China's going back on lockdown. Omicron, and they're back to locking people in their houses in Shanghai, I was told, for the new X something variant. Here we go, folks. I got a feeling we'll be wearing masks for a long time, and we'll be, I don't understand. You see Beijing also. See, I just heard it about it going on in Shanghai. And, you know, we don't have any mask mandates anymore, you know, and people just travel everywhere and the borders are open and Karen White. Okay, Karen, let me see what you have to say. Just to be clear, I am able to go back to a regular 3-day notice to pay rent or quit right now. Can late fees and window replacement charges be included? The answer to that is no. Does anybody know why I said no? Because only rent goes on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. Your late fee and any window replacement fees would go on a covenant notice, not on a 3-day pay rent or quit. If you put them on your 3-day pay rent or quit, that is for rent only, then your notice is voided. So 3-day pay rent or quit. There is a new notice. It basically says, and I highly suggest you use this notice if you have tenants that owe you rent during the pandemic period, but you're just asking for April in your notice, because in the new notice, what it says is any rents not, any other rents owed previous that aren't on this notice are not waived, and the landlord still has a right to collect those in another action. So what it does is say, okay, I'm evicting you right now for April's rent because it's outside of the pandemic. Get into eviction court. There's no COVID for April. Paying attention. So then the judge may say, I'll give you a possession judgment. We're not giving you a judgment for money, because they're just not. You have to do that in small claims. Well, you have to do that in small claims anyway. So eviction court is not where you go after the money. That's where you go after possession of your property. Where you go after the money is in small claims. Okay, everybody got that? They now made small claims unlimited. It does not cap out at $5,000 or $10,000 because of the COVID pandemic. Okay, so your recourse is small claims. The best time to do small claims is once they vacate. But if they're still in possession for several, I think we have 4 years. I have to go back and look, you guys. I think we have 4 years on the statute of limitations for small claims for the unlimited amount. And then it will go back to normal. Okay, let me see. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Because I got a couple more things I want to talk about. We have upcoming events, in-person events. Knock on wood, unless we get locked down like Beijing and Shanghai and all that stuff. So just saying, May 22nd, I'd love to see all of you at the Pasadena Convention Center. I will be there. Yee. So definitely plan on seeing all you guys. I haven't seen you in forever. I got taller, just so you guys all know. I'm kidding. But I keep telling myself I got taller. In this pandemic, it made me taller, I promise. If you've never met me in person, you'll get that when we meet in person. I'm 4'8". All right, what do you guys got? I heard somebody trying to unmute themselves. Anybody have a question, comment, statement, anything? Come on, you guys. Okay, here we go. Teresa's got one. Let's see what you got. If tenant is running a side business selling hats, socks, and t-shirts out of their unit, I was going to say something that was bad. Are they getting their hats, socks, and t-shirts out of the laundry room? I'm just asking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Okay. Yes, Victor, I will email you. That's Agla's trade show. Apartment Investor Group is with it also. It's on May 22nd at the Pasadena Convention Center. It's free to attend. If the tenant is running a side business selling hats, socks, t-shirts out of their unit, boxes are always coming into their unit and the tenant travels a lot out of town, flies with luggage. The tenant complained about bugs and cockroaches. I said it would get IR gel. I get what you're saying. Here's what I want you to do, or here's what would be most ideal. Let's try that again. Here's what I would do if it were me. I'm trying. So in the past, I've always contacted my extermination company, and I always ask them to do two things whenever there's a problem at a property. This is where you guys take out your pen and you make a note, okay? I always ask my extermination company to provide me with two things when they do something like this, and I got something like this going on. I ask for a cleanliness report. Yeah, you want to write that down, trust me. And a cause of infestation letter. So if this third mutual party puts on there that the cause of the infestation is the tenants traveling and the fact that they're bringing trash and debris into the property or packaged boxes and storing things that attract bugs, nuisance, etc., there's where your teeth are. Cleanliness report, cause of infestation. Got it? Everybody got that? Cleanliness report, cause of infestation. Because then if you get into court and you're evicting them, then you have a mutual third party that says this tenant isn't keeping the unit clean. It's disgusting. It's an attractant for a nuisance of, anybody know? Vermin. So it's attracting vermin. Their cleanliness is causing a nuisance by attracting vermin. Got it? But it's an easy way to flip things back out on them. I have Orkin. Do you recommend? Hold on, let me open the chat thing, you guys. I'm not good at this. Who is responsible? Yes, but the tenant has to do their part. Do I have to pay a professional? I have the gel cockroaches. I can have my handyman do it. If you have your handyman doing it, there's special verbiage that you need to put on your pest inspection notification. You have to post to the property 5 days before spraying anything, and you have to give a complete list of all the chemicals that'll be used on that property. I don't ever have a handyman or somebody do my pest control. I always hire a professional and let them disclose to the tenant what's being used on the property and let them deal with all that. Hold on, I'll pick the word out. It's coming to me. Maybe I need another sip of caffeine. Basically, when you spray a residential dwelling, you have to disclose, and there's certain documentation you are using, all the chemicals that'll be used on the property prior to them being used on the property. Okay, so if you have your handyman do it, then you have to make that list of every chemical that's on the ingredients list of that can or whatever you're putting down and put that all in there, where a pest control company will do that for you. Hit the easy button because they're a professional. They just give, like when you have bed bugs and they hand the tenant that paperwork, they're required to do that by law, notifying them how they prepare their unit. Okay, so when it comes to extermination of cockroaches, bed bugs, the only thing I deal with is ants. No joke. Ants. And do you know why I deal with ants? Because they built California on a giant ant hill. Okay, I'm just saying. So if it's ants, I'll deal with it all day long. But if it's anything else, I hire the professional. Let them disclose. Let it be them that needs to tell them everything instead of us. All we had to do was that disclosure that said this property is subject to periodic pest control. Boom, we're covered. So let them worry about all the other disclosures, all the chemicals being used and that. When you do take that on yourself, it all becomes a you responsibility. Your maintenance tech has to post the property 7 days prior of all the chemicals that they're, it's a nightmare. Don't do it. Hire a professional. ask first to confirm. Yes. Pest. So a pest company will do those warning disclosures to a tenant, most likely. You definitely need to ask first to confirm. They usually take care of that because they know what chemicals they are using. We don't. A cleanliness report causes if infestation from company only, not from handyman. Correct. Your handyman is not a mutual third party. Make sense? A mutual third party is someone you hired to go do a job. And remember this, you pay them. Okay, got it? You don't want your tenant hiring the exterminator and paying them. You don't want your tenant hiring anybody except a caregiver if they need it for themselves. Is that routine warning in the standard AOA rental agreement? I don't know. I'd have to look. It could be. It might be. It may be. I'd have to look at a current AOA contract to tell you that it's about periodic pest extermination, periodic pest extermination, periodic, because you can mark whether you're on a route, okay, or if it's just periodic, meaning as needed, okay. I think it's standard in the car forms. Here we all go. I know AGLA has it. I know CAA has it, the California Apartment Association, and those are the only two I'm going to speak for. I'm going to shut up now. I know it's in both of those documents, but I also don't know which version you're using, when it was last updated. So I have to remind you guys to do all that kind of stuff. When you guys are signing a new tenant on and doing a new lease, do not reach into your file and grab your blank lease contract. Get online and get a new one. It might have updates in it that you actually need to have, like the new mold disclosure that you must disclose. I like it because it actually shows pictures of what mold can look like for tenants. And we got to remind them that if their bathroom looks like that, it's because they're not using the ventilation system properly. When it comes to mold, remember there's two laws that protect us, and it's improper use of ventilation and improper housekeeping. Okay, so we do have those two that help protect us so that we could pin that back on the tenant if need be. All right, girl, you have a great day. Thank you, Arlene. If you need anything, you know how to find me. I know that because you've done it before. All right. Anybody else have anything for today specific? I know we want to get into San Diego's. Heavily populated areas come with heavy restrictions for landlords. San Diego and LA County have proven that to us throughout this pandemic. So I'll look at San Diego's. I did see that La Mesa had something going and that was shot down. So I will report back to you in full force on Wednesday next week. And I think I'm actually in San Diego teaching a class. Oh, it's coming up, I want to say on the 19th, and that's an in-person. Yes, that's an in-person training class on the 19th. I will be at the San Diego Apartment Association. If you guys want to come see me, come say hello. And then I believe the following day, I'm doing a class for AGLA on a webinar called Marijuana, Bed Bugs, and Emotional Support Animals, what we really need to know. So if those things have your interest, emotional support animals, bed bugs, or marijuana, please log on to AGLA for that. I'll be there later this month. And if nobody has anything else, I'm going to end this for today, but I will come back next Wednesday in full force with all of your regulations for San Diego and what's going on there. And I don't think I have anything else to report to you. I'm just thinking, when is the one on sex, drugs, and oh, good God, Val, what are we talking about? Hold on. When is the one on sex, drugs, and rock and roll? Yeah, right. They forgot about we, the people. Okay. Thank you, you guys. You guys are awesome. I couldn't do this without you. And remember, if you have a tenant that isn't paying you and they're manipulating the system, start talking to your legal counsel. It's time. The fat lady is about to sing. Okay. If they're not participating in the program, they don't have any protections. If they're ignoring you entirely, call your legal counsel. It's time. Okay. We can't keep sitting in here and bleeding financially while they're trying to steal our property. It's just enough's enough. Hi, Patty. I'm seeing the Income Property Management Expo on the 24th. Thank you. Do you know which one is correct? If you're seeing it on the 24th, it's the 24th. The 22nd came out of my little blonde brain, okay? So I'm off by about 2 days. I'm sorry. I was close. There's a lot in there, you guys. A lot of civil codes, penal codes, health and safety violations. I mean, I keep quite a bit right here. I can't keep it all. I try. I really do try. And I will tell you guys, I thought COVID was gonna really mess me up because it was just so much coming at you so quickly. And these moratoriums were like 42 pages long. What? So it was a lot for me to keep up with all of that. And when one phase of it ended, I forgot what was in that bill because I just focused on the next one that controlled us. And then when we got the new bill that now control, I forget what happened before and just try to focus on that new bill because my brain just can't hold it all. I can't. I'm human. All right, you guys have a great day. To my sisters, if you're still on here, I will be calling you in about 30 minutes, okay? And Val, you still have something on here? Okay, in a 3-day to pay, in a 3-day to the pig lady, I asked her to identify all of her pets. Is that legal? Absolutely. You could ask her to identify everyone residing in the premises. See how I didn't ask if it was children or adults? Could you please advise us of the occupants of your unit? See how I didn't say how many children, how many adults? You guys paying attention yet? We got some new stuff coming out from Fair Housing. So I'll go over that on Wednesday. I'll go over San Diego on Wednesday. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.